Hi, this is Andy from Mixed & Key. Today I'm going to be walking you through how to use Captain Play. So what is Captain Play exactly? Well, it's a stripped down version of the Play feature which is included in each Captain plugin flavour. So as you can use the Play tab within each plugin, we've created a plugin which focuses solely on the Play feature, which allows you to play melodies, play chords, jam them out live in real time, connected to your favourite third-party VST instrument. The way this works is that you add an instance of Captain Play as a MIDI effects insert if you're using Logic. If you're using a DAW which doesn't support MIDI effects, such as Ableton, you can just add the normal version of Captain Play into a MIDI track, just like you would with any other Captain plugins flavour, and then when it opens up you'll see you get the Captain Play options. However, you will get a couple of extra options with this version, including sound presets, which isn't in the MIDI effects option. As you can see on screen, it's a straightforward and simplified user interface. You have this tab here which is for playing melodies, and you can switch it to playing chords as well. When you load the plugin up at first, you're given the option to choose between MIDI keyboard and computer keyboard. And what this means is essentially you can use your MIDI keyboard to input the notes or chords, or you can use your computer keyboard to jam them out. So if you don't have a MIDI keyboard, that's okay, you can use a computer keyboard. Now, if we just click on MIDI keyboard, you'll see here it's very similar to the layout in the other plugins, whereby you can add and remove octaves, and you can also map them to your keys. So here we have the options to map, so you can have just the in-scale notes, all notes, root position, inversions, sevenths, pretty, and borrowed. If we switch to play melody, you see it's just the individual notes, like that. Now, we can add multiple octaves, and we can also remove them. If you've got a large keyboard with many keys, you can map the whole keyboard, or if you've just got a small portable controller type keyboard, then it might only have 2 octaves, then you can remove those and just use the 2 here. You can also change the octave that you're working in, so even though you've got it mapped, you can change that here to a higher octave and here as well. Spacebar allows you to start recording. You can jam out without actually pressing the spacebar, but it won't be recorded into the clip here. If I press space, you can see it's now recorded. And from here, we can clear it, or we can drag to our DAW like that. Let's switch to computer keyboard. And we'll start with melodies. So in this window here, you have a map of your computer keyboard. You have the notes within key and scale here, and you have them on the various octaves. You can also switch up and down octaves here. So if you prefer using just one row of keys, you can use these keys here to toggle up and down with the octave. You can start and stop recording with the spacebar, and again it will be recorded into this section here. You can also adjust the amount of note quantization by selecting the resolution here, and if you want the quantization to be at the start of the note or at the end, or both. So then we'll move to the Play Chords tab, and you have all your chords that are in your key and scale, which is set up here, and you can choose any key and scale from the drop down. We'll just stick with A minor for this tutorial. And then you have your chords which make up the key and scale here. So we have our root position here, and the chords that make up the key and scale, and then we have inversions of those. We have borrowed chords up the top, second inversion down the bottom, so there's lots of options to choose from within the one map. By holding down shift, we can toggle the chords, so we can have pretty options, a seventh, and again we'll have the borrowed and root position in the same positions as before. So let's just look at how we can use this to record melodies and chord progressions. We'll start with doing a chord progression. We've got Silent 1 open here, and we'll just move this down slightly. Now, what we want to do to record, we need to press play, and we need to press the spacebar to start the recording. So we need to think about, do we want to set a loop in our DAW or not? Because if we do set a loop, it will loop, and then the chords will automatically overwrite or overdub what you've previously played in. So if you don't want to do that and you just want to have a big long jam and then maybe take out the best bits, what I suggest doing is not setting a cycle and just allowing your DAW to play back from the first bar until you're happy with what you've done. So let's give that a try. So as you can see down at the bottom here, we've recorded in every single thing that I've played there, and then we can easily drag and drop this to our DAW, like so. We can open it up, and we can take out the parts that we like. And the same applies for if you're making melodies. We can do exactly the same thing. We'll switch to the Play Melodies tab, and we can just press space, go back to the start again in our DAW. And you can see everything's been recorded there, and again we can drag and drop that to our DAW, and we can go in and we can edit that to taste. Take out the best bits, or just get rid of it all and try again. Now here we can also adjust the note velocity, so if we want all the notes to have a softer velocity, then we can turn this down a little bit, just play back. Or if we want them all to be quite high, we can set that up to the top. If we switch to the Audio Out tab here, you'll see Captain is outputting MIDI notes only. For audio output, use the regular input audio unit instead. Okay, so what that means is, if you want it to output audio, you use the normal version of Captain plugins and not the MIDI FX type. And if you still want to use your third-party synths, you can do that. You can use the plugin hosting within the regular Captain plugin flavors. I hope this has been helpful and helped you to understand Captain Play a bit better. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.